Howdy, friend. Welcome to Homegrown. I'm your host, R.P. Smith. If putting together the weekly Homegrown program went as well as putting down the first line, I could probably make a decent living typing data into a computer. But from my understanding, with the advancement of artificial intelligence technologies, this might not be a great field to till. My creative process varies from week to week, and this week has been a bit of a lull when it comes to inspiration. On the ranch, I'm still a week away from bringing cows home from corn stalks and becoming a real rancher again. One group of ewes is finished, and the next should not start for a few days. One tractor has been to the mechanic and is currently operational. The other may be finished because the last hydraulic pump we put on may have really been the last hydraulic pump. So when I woke up at 3 this morning, it was not an idea, but a lack of an idea that got my feet on the floor. I did my daily reading, went out to make sure the next group of ewes was not started, went through my PT routine, ate breakfast, took a nap, and here we are, with a brand new piece that AI could never come up with until the last pump in the country goes out, and we are temporarily back to using a pitchfork. I call this one, Where Was I? This stage of life, near perfect, why is this thought in my head, lurking in the shadows and impending sense of dread? Is it repercussion from early in the day, when I sat down a something, and somehow it went astray? And I nearly in a panic, followed by resignation. This something is gone forever. Just accept the situation. Then nearly in the same breath, reality I face, this something has resurfaced just inches from its appointed place. So if I seem to have a new phobia, coupled with a resolve to declutter, just offer some understanding, as under your breath you mutter, it ties not so much to fear that uprooted I may someday be, my greater fear by far, that I'll forget just where I put me. I had to make some changes in the last line of that poem. If I had not changed the U's into I's, it would have been pretty scary. Which brings to mind one that I call, He Laughed. He was part of my first memory. In my mind's eye I can still see the clod dropped in the wet concrete, the sound it made that sure was neat. Grandpa, why do ducks have rubber feet? And he laughed. Little brother made him smile too. Grandpa, how old are you? His eye would sparkle as he said his line. Last time I checked, I was 39. Well, that's what I thought, and that ain't too bad. That's just 3 more than Dad. And he laughed. His laughter made me feel good, like somehow he sort of understood the little duck toward the back with the funny walk and the silly quack, like maybe he'd been down that track, and it sure felt good that he understood, and we laughed. He laughed with me, not at me, and the difference is vast, and when you're young you think it will last, but life goes by mighty awful fast. Sometimes we talked about the past, the goosey horse and Jim and Clyde, and the schoolgirl and the sand on the slide, and he felt bad that it roughed her hide, and I am sure that day he cried. But that was a long, long time ago. How was a little guy supposed to know? And we laughed. Good times, working on my shack, third-hand lumber and an achy back, keeping Uncle Tom and Bud on track, on-the-job training, just a few simple rules. Measure twice, cut once, and take care of your tools. I was young, and he was old, and there were things I needed told, and we laughed. How's things going on the place? and he would listen as I'd retrace details of the latest mess, and things would come into focus, I guess. My problems weren't that big a deal, but every pig has got to squeal, and we would laugh. One story that he often told, how he'd never really done nothing but just get old, and I'd wait for the end while holding my hat. He'd say, "It took me a long time just to do that." Not near long enough, but I'll hang tough, and I will remember not to forget, and I will laugh. Thanks for riding along on Homegrown this morning. Hoping that the Lord blesses you real good today, that He is raining on your place, and that our happy trails cross again soon. I'm R.P. Smith.